First of all, we're doing a production of one of Shakespeare's masterpieces, The Merchant of Venice. It's a frightening play. It's a terribly topical play. If you read your newspapers, you'll know what's going on in the Labour Party in England with people being accused of anti-Semitism. This is a play about anti-Semitism. It's about a Jew who has all his life suffered from anti-Semitism. People have spat on him and been incredibly unpleasant to him. And finally, he gets the possibility of revenge against all of Christians. And what then happens, you'll discover if you see the play, but it's a very exciting, a very gripping play. It's also a comical play in some scenes. It has some of Shakespeare's most serious scenes, but it has some very entertaining comical scenes about the young girl Portia, who has to choose which of three men she's going to have to marry. So that is The Merchant of Venice. For the middle age group, the 14 to 16-year-olds, we've got a play called The Tyrant's Kiss. And this is actually a modernised version of a Shakespeare play. The Shakespeare play is called Pericles, and it's about a young man who is trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea in order to escape from people who are chasing him, and he keeps on being shipwrecked, and more goes wrong with him. During the course of the play, he loses just about everything he has. He loses his phone, he loses his clothes, he loses his daughter, he loses his wife, everyone he loses, and still he's determined. He's not going to give up. He's going to carry on until he can get his life together, recreate his family, and find peace at last. The play is slightly reminiscent of King Lear. King Lear is about a person who loses everything. He starts off as a king, and gradually he's just a man. And this is what The Tyrant's Kiss is about. It asks the question, what does it mean to be a man? And then we've got a play for the 12, 13, 14, 11-year-olds. It's called My Cousin Charles. It's a light-hearted English comedy. It's actually based on stories that my mother used to tell me. My mother had a cousin called Charles, and she hated him. And during the First World War, a lot of children were evacuated from London because people thought that London might become a battleground with bombs falling. It didn't, in fact, in the First World War, but people were afraid of this. But at any rate, during the First World War, my mother and her cousin Charles had to live together in one household. And they hated each other. And so this is a play about two children who hate each other. Whether they go on hating each other throughout the play, I'm not going to tell you. But lots of entertaining and silly things happen during My Cousin Charles, and I can't help thinking of my mother whenever I see it.